As the leaves fill in, my video signal has been going down. My long route is no longer usable, so I made a shorter one with less hill in the way and less distance from the radio. So I've been testing different channel settings between the 04 Pro and the Goggles 3. I started out just messing around with them, but decided to document a more standardized test. So here is a short but signal challenging route run at all of the bandwidth options: 10 MHz, 20, 40 with standard protocol and S-Bus, and auto. At the end are stills of significant points along the route at each setting, followed by a table of results. If you want to miss all of the fun, you can skip to the end, but it won't be the same without seeing what is actually happening in each setting. The differences are significant, and we'll discuss them more at the end. 10 MHz bandwidth started out at only 13. I've never seen that before. It's holding on to it pretty well though, while others have been going down through here. Video quality is already not very good, with a lot of smudging of fine details. Certainly makes it harder to fly. You see some of these trees disappear in the smudges till you get closer. Drop down to 6 megabit per second. Much less than that and it stops functioning. Here's 5. I've got a hill over to the left between the quad and the radio and the leaves. Having a hard time seeing in here. Trying to go slow. Things pop out of the smudge and very little warning. Heading back towards the radio now though. Signal starting to come back up again. Video never got as good as most of the other settings. And it ended at 13 even all the way home. Here's 20 megahertz, started low, down 29. Also unusual. I usually see 60 from a takeoff. Video quality is better than at 10. Currently I'm feeling a bit more confident in flying. You can see small stuff is still smudgy. At least I can see the little trees. Getting down to 7. Now we're going down over the hill. The lower we get, the more hill is in the way. Heading back to the radio again. Signal's getting better. Video's improving some. Yeah, we got a lot less smudgy. We're up around 27 megabits. And that carried 28 all the way home. 40 megahertz protocol standard. Started out at 60. You can see it's down there in the high 50s now. There's 60. I've been using 40 megahertz, thinking a higher bandwidth would penetrate better, as I've read several places. But that wasn't true for 60. My previous test, 60, was not strong. You can see that little bitty tree there just was visible. But now we're going over the hill and it's dropping again. Down to 7. I either can't see well enough or I got distracted, but I went off course. When I go off course and start flying through branches, hopefully avoiding them, I keep going until I get a clear spot to stop and consider how to get back to the route. With a GPS, I can just fly in the direction of home if I don't care about being on a course. But today the course matters. Now we have a lot of leaves between us, but the signal's getting back up again. I tried 40 megahertz with S-Bus protocol. It was a little bit less than this, so I cut it out of the video. Here's 60 megahertz. Higher bandwidth should be better penetration through, presumably, stuff like this. And the video quality started out reasonably well. But if you watch the megabits per second down on the bottom there, it's not only going to drop quickly, but the video quality is going to drop as well. Yeah, down to 5. Oh my goodness. 4. 4 is bad. This is difficult to see now, and I know it's going to get worse, so I'm giving up, heading back to the barn or hangar. Here's Auto. Started out at 60 strong, it's holding 60 there. Still holding 60, but it won't for long. Does Auto switch frequencies like a cordless phone to find the best one? I don't know. But it's stronger than even 40, though 40 is pretty close to it. Either way, these leaves are interfering with my fun. still 16, 17. Video is pretty good. Obviously a little loss of resolution there. Going down over the hill again. Down to 8. Big difference between 5 and 8 though. Still some smudge at 11, 10, 11, 12. Picking back up quickly though. As we head back, we're still 350 feet away. It doesn't sound much except for all the leaves and the hills. And it's apparently a lot in those conditions. So it's back up to 60, and it's going to hold 60 all the way home from 300 feet. Some bandwidth choices have channel options, some only have one. I used whichever was assigned when I switched bandwidths. You may have noticed that 10 MHz started out with a weak signal even near the radio and never went up, but it held on to what it had for a long time and was not the weakest of the bunch, though the goggles view was never very good. 20 MHz didn't start out with full signal strength either, but worked a bit better than 10 MHz. 40 MHz was the best of the manual settings, with standard protocol a bit better than S-Bus. 60 MHz should theoretically have better penetration according to what I've read, but it was the worst of the bunch, so much that I bailed out part way through the route before getting to the more challenging areas. Auto, well, I don't know what it's doing. Is it flipping channels like a cordless phone, picking the strongest for the current conditions? I don't know, but auto is my first choice, followed by 40 MHz standard protocol. I suppose it's ironic after all this testing that auto is the best one of the bunch, but you never know until you try. And that's all I've got.